This is it. I have found my New York City apartment and it is moving weekend. I have to pack up and take all of these items I've been collecting and take them over to my new home. I'm getting the keys today, but I don't have to leave this place until tomorrow. So I've spread out the moving, which is very fortunate. Makes it a little bit less stressful. So we'll do the first round today and go and see the place. And then I'll be leaving here tomorrow.
My headspace been weaker, it's been waiting for the right day. Like the right day ever comes, now it's Friday and nothing's changed. Mistakes that everyone is making, but I can't change. I'm stuck in reverse like an old Benz. Forgot to tap it up. Now I long for another day where things fall into place. So if you're down, I'll be down. Pack your bags, fill them up. We can go tonight, take a flight to a higher ground. How does that sound? How does that sound? So
I'm
strange.
home! This is my brand new home for me here in New York. I will show you around so you know which one I ended up choosing, and then we can talk a bit more about it. You've got the kitchen right here. We've got our dishwasher, oven, storage, all really nice and modern. And then we've got the living space, which I didn't realize the person whose room I was taking over owned so much of this. So together with the girls, we're going to redecorate it, put a couch in, a nice dining table, maybe another couch and a projector or a TV and a rug, and just make it our own. And then through here, we've got the bathroom. It is really neat and sweet and modern. I think it got renovated recently, so not too shabby for New York standards. Oh, except that door there. So yeah, just a bathroom, big bathtub though, definitely a deep bathtub, and I love a bath. And then my room is right opposite it. We're in here. And she's long. She's thin. She's very thin, but she has very high ceilings. In fact, the whole place has high ceilings. That's what I like about it so much. And then this is my little room. And I'm gonna have to, figure out a good combination of all of the items to make the most use of this space. So this is my little new home, and let me know in the comments whether you thought this is the one I might actually pick. And let's talk about why I chose it. When I saw so many apartments that obviously had like bigger living rooms, and on paper, this one didn't actually tick a lot of my boxes in terms of having natural light in the living area. But like when I came here, I really liked the energy and the vibe, and I liked the roommates, and that was kind of pretty important to me after like living in another share house where the roommates were just like not right necessarily. Like when we changed roommates so often, it just made the place feel less like a home. So I ended up compromising on like the lack of natural light in the living space, as well as no in-unit washer or dryer that's down in the basement. But it's so funny, isn't it? Like the things you put on your list and you think are going to define whether you pick a place or not. And I saw places still within my budget and also had those things, but like when I went, the energy wasn't right. Instead, with this place, there were actually a lot of little signs that made me say yes to it, even though on paper it didn't match a lot of the things I wanted. And like, I'm a big believer in signs as well. But one of the roommates is Australian, and she had just gotten back 2 days before I came to view this place, and she had visited her friend who had just moved out to my hometown, and like not even my hometown, but a couple of streets away from my mum and dad. So I felt like that was such a sign. When I walked around the neighborhood, I absolutely loved this neighborhood. It's got a lot of parks and green spaces, and it just once again reminded me of that area of like Victoria Park Village and Hackney that I really loved and enjoyed. And I know you're not meant to move overseas to just recreate the places that you were in before, but because I'm going through so much change, it's like I want to hold on to those little things that make me feel like a sense of peace and home. And then the other big sign for me was that when I opened the windows, because when I came to view this place, the roommate had curtains in her windows. When I opened the windows, there was these two massive trees right outside the windows, and that was my favorite part of my place in London, was just sitting in my bed and looking out at the trees and watching them change colors. And it brought me so much simple pleasure and joy that as soon as I saw that, I knew that this was like a room I could be really happy in, and I could really enjoy sitting in my bed and looking at those trees and reading my books and having a cup of tea. And that is what I really love. Like, even places that were possible to move into maybe for a bit more money, and like the room was bigger, like the views were sometimes of main roads or like neon lights outside the window or like a gas station. So when I opened those windows and saw that view, I was just like, this feels really homely. So yeah, it's funny how on paper, this place, I almost didn't even come and view it. But then when you get here and the vibe is so right, like I'm a big believer in energy. So yeah, as soon as I came here, I was just like, oh, I really like this place. And also the people who have made it possible for me to move in here have also like gone above and beyond, because they feel like we'll all be the right mix and match for each other. So I really appreciate the effort they went into as well, because like my social security number was taking a while to come through, and I was like a harder tenant for them to switch the lease over to. So I feel like it was all meant to be. And yeah, I'm just so happy to like be in this space. And right now, even looking at you, I'm looking out at this view and I'm so happy. And it's got a rooftop with also an incredible view. And I think I'll compromise, like without having natural light in the living area, I think there is a bit of a compromise there. Also, because it's a rent stabilized apartment, which is amazing, and the rent is split between 3 people, so it's like really affordable. All that extra money I'm saving on rent, I can go out and sit at cafes and enjoy living in the city instead of just like sitting in my really expensive apartment's living room that might have natural light but just like keeps me indoors. So I like that I have that extra cash to spend to go out and about and enjoy life here. So yeah, I'm really happy with this place, and I can't believe this is now going to be my home in New York. Like, I can't believe I moved to New York and I found a place, and now I'm gonna turn it into a little home. So welcome to my home for the next little bit. Who knows how long, but I'm really excited to be here and go on some adventures from this little corner of the world. So obviously this is an awkward shaped room, there's no doubt about it. So I'm going to play around with a few layouts to see what I want to do. I think that's also going to like really affect what furniture I end up buying as well. So I think I need to make this decision before I move any further along with this room furnishing situation. And like, not to mention, I also have to like work with the housemates to figure out how we're going to furnish the living room and dining as well. So there is quite a lot to do in terms of getting this place ready. I think it's exciting to not have to adopt someone else's style and instead kind of help curate and create it together with other people. So I do actually appreciate that as an opportunity. Reframe the challenge into an opportunity. In terms of my bedroom, this is maybe like one of the wackier layouts I've thought of, but I'm actually kind of liking the most. Put the bed over to the left here, but get like a proper bed with a nice headboard. And then on the other side of the headboard, have my desk. So my desk would be here. I could sit here and look out at the view, but also when I'm in bed, I can be looking out at the view. Like that is what I love to do the most, is sit in bed and read my books and have a cup of tea or like meditate. And so that would like make the most of those things I like to do. Plus when I am working at my desk, it means I can look out at the view as well. So this, I think the compromise would be, I wouldn't probably put drawers along here, so I'd have less storage because I'd want to keep this as like a walkway. So I'd probably only have this. Wait, no, I couldn't even put, well, unless I compromise and I could never open my door fully. So yeah, the compromise with that layout is a lack of extra storage with the drawers. And then this is how the previous roommate had it set up, which when I came here, I really enjoyed like how she had laid it out. She had her bed up against the wall here and then like would sleep with her head against the wall. And then she had a desk here and then a little drawer / cupboard situation here. So extra storage there. I do think the compromise with this layout is that from the bed, I'm not really getting that view I want. So I think this layout actually, now that I'm going through them, is maybe at the moment my least favorite, only because of what I like to do, which is sit in bed and read my books and have a view. So if my head is facing away from the view, then I'm just looking into the room. So when I first saw this room, the way I envisioned setting it up was to have my bed all the way at the end there and have that little like cozy area for myself, which gives you the most floor space for sure. And then I could set up like my desk over here and then have a wall of drawers. Like I honestly could have all of this as a nice like chest of drawers, because I do love to store things in drawers and just have like each drawer dedicated to its thing. I think the only compromise with this situation is by having the bed next to the windows, I guess like there's a bit of a draft over there and there'll be a little bit more street noise, I guess, as well. And I wouldn't be able to have like a bed with a headboard because, as you can see, the mattress is like seriously squished in there. So there's no way a headboard would also fit in. So this is definitely a solid option. Welcome to moving day 2.0. I was able to take over my big bulky items yesterday and start to let that mattress in a box deflate. It's my second mattress in a box and I just don't get them. Like, how is a mattress able to fit in a box? Like, I get it, but also I'm questioning whether it is the best mattress or not. But I did sleep for like 4 years on a mattress in a box back in London, so hopefully it should be okay. Today I am clearing out all of my personal items here and leaving this flat share. It's a shame because it is a beautiful apartment. It is spacious. It has a lot of natural light. The couch is like 11 out of 10 comfortable, like almost so comfortable or too comfortable that you never want to get up out of it. And the roommate is great and we've been watching TV together. We started like The Pit last night and we were watching some Girls and Sex and the City, some New York classics. So it's been really nice to be here. Overall, I'm really glad I gave myself all of these short-term sublet situations because it made me really explore these different neighborhoods and try them out and see the local coffee shops and the fitness studios and things like that. And honestly, I would probably be able to continue this whole like subletting situation for a while, and it was something I contemplated. But when I got down to it and started doing it, I realized I do love just like knowing I have a place to call home and knowing that the people that live there are like more permanent roommates and like people I can have in my life, and then yeah, I think I just am a creature of habit, as a lot of us are. And so as soon as I found the place that I wanted to live in, I just wanted to do it. So I even ended this sublet earlier than I had expected. I had it for like 2 months, but I ended it earlier because I found a place earlier. Well, I didn't end it. I found someone to replace my sublet situation. Anywho, as much as it was fun to bop around and experience different neighborhoods and try short-term sublet options, I realized like I do just love a place that is my home and my space and that I can make my own. Like this bed isn't mine, and even these sheets, like the roommate here kindly lent me. So it'll be nice to just like be properly set up in my space, and I can start to meet people at what will be my regular gym instead of, you know, only doing the intro offers. And I'm also really excited about where I'm living and to do this next chapter. But yeah, I'm gonna miss the couch here. It is one comfortable couch. So this morning I am going to strip the bed, wash my sheets, pack up everything into my suitcase and move over to my new little home. Hopefully it's the final time I am doing this for a little while. Honestly, it feels like just yesterday that I was doing this in London, packing everything up, packing it up again when I was in Australia, and then again after my first few weeks in New York. And now, hopefully, for a final time, I plan to not have to do this again for a little while, unless I'm going on holidays and it's like fun packing. But this does feel very repetitive, like I have been doing this a lot recently. So I'm excited to actually have a place to call home and a base. Here's everything I need to take with me. Honestly, it's still quite a lot, even though this is the second move today. But yeah, we will manage and take it all.
It's so cold and deceiving, filled with flies and disguises and cheating. I got just the right sugar to sweeten, turn it all to the Garden of Eden.
She's Vulcan. Also, I read that turmeric with pepper is meant to be really good for gut issues. So I'm gonna give it a try. Now I'm all moved in. This is now my home. I'm already second guessing this mattress. I'll sleep on it tonight, but who knows if I'll keep it or not. Might have to upgrade, because as I'm sitting on the edge right now, she's leaning.
I can make the gray turn gold, I can make the sun come out. I can make the bland turn bold, show you what it's all about. I can make all your edges smooth. I can make your vision dreams come true. Just like a filter. Whenever you want me, I'm here for you. I make you brand new. Just like a filter. All of them flaws, baby, worse than yours. Let's bang it true. I can give you a rhyme and a reason. You just have to give it.
I have spent days on Facebook Marketplace, IKEA, Amazon, Target, Home Depot, any type of website under the sun to try and find furniture that will fit within the constraints of this very narrow room. And I think I'm having a little bit of success and things are looking good, but also making a lot of decisions and having to figure out which formation I want to commit to. So with all that said, I need to take a break from all of it. It is a lot of decision fatigue and I just want to go out and enjoy the city, and my mattress can stay on the floor for an extra day, week, however long it needs to be. Let's go out and explore Manhattan, and in particular, obviously I read the Cuts article about being a West Village girl, so I want to go see what this West Village is all about. Obviously I'll go do the holy trinity of Carrie Bradshaw, Friends, and Taylor's apartments and also just see wherever else tickles my fancy. I have a few places saved on Google Maps, particularly a bookstore that I'm looking forward to checking out. So I'm just gonna bop around and enjoy the beautiful blue skies despite the -7 degrees temperature and make the most of being here in New York and not think about moving and furnishing this room today. Let's go. I just saw a group of people who are doing a tour of the High Line, and that would be a very clever idea because I don't know a whole lot of the history here, so maybe I will do that when my mum comes to visit because I know that she's very excited to see the High Line. Also, I assume it's much more exciting when it's in spring or summer and all of the flowers and trees are in bloom. That said, the white snow is obviously gorgeous, but I think my favorite part of the High Line is having these bird's eye views, well, not really bird's eye, but these higher up views of each of the cross streets. I think is where the real wow factor is of New York. Whoa, there's just a lot of streets of a lot of buildings. I'm really into these cross sections. So I've walked from here where the pigeon was, and now I'm in the West Village. Man, the money be dripping here off of the people, the housing, the cars. Honestly, way too much money in one area. This is wild. Obviously giving very West London vibes as well. Very pretty though. Very pretty architecture. I've made it to the bookstore I wanted to check out. I think this one was actually a place my last roommate mentioned to me, and whenever someone mentions something I just save it, and then when I go to that neighborhood I can just check out whatever I have a little favorited heart on. So yeah, let's check it out. have not mentioned enough on this channel how much I love a tea room. They're like one of my favorite places to spend time in, other than maybe a gallery. The tea is just presented so beautifully and you can spend generally like quite a lot of time in them. And as a non-coffee drinker, it's even more exciting. But I feel like it's just a really nice, cozy space, more so than like a cafe. I went to one in Japan that I loved. But I honestly hadn't spent much time in another tea house since. And then I came across this one, dropped in, and spent like so long sitting there sipping my tea. They did free refills, did a lot of journaling, and it just reminded me of how much I love a tea room. So that's kind of my spiel about tea rooms, just that I love them, I want to find more of them, and that they do play like a distinct role, different from a traditional cafe, in my opinion. Oh, and I couldn't recommend the one I just spent time in more. It was in the West Village, and I am going to go out of my way to go there again in the future because it was pretty and just a beautiful space to spend time in, and it had great tea. And I love a tea house. Gotta put the song on for this.